First, I would like to give you my compliments, you know, when it comes to new album. Also, I would like to know, how would you like to compare the new album with your previous records? I would say that this one is more dynamic, and of course, it's more melodic, actually.
Yeah, it is. I suppose it's like, I must admit, when we'd actually written this album, and it went over to Dan for like lyrics and concept ideas, he did actually say that, you know, it was like, it sounds a lot like a mixture between Midian and Cruelty. You know, so obviously we couldn't do an album about Elizabeth Bathory because that's already happened. So obviously the next best thing would have been Lilith. It is definitely a mix between the two. You know, there is a lot more. Saying that though, we got like a on the orchestration front, we ended up messing around a bit more in the mixing side of things because we wanted to try something a bit different, you know, and not so have it so in your face and up front. So we made it a bit more of a symphonic bass for the guitars, you know, to make it sound a bit more, have a bit more rounded feel to it, which I think kind of works, you know. I mean, obviously if you've got like a hook line, a melody line, a main like top line melody to come through in the orchestration, obviously that has to come above everything because that's the main tune of it, you know, that's the main hook. But anything else, it's just like sits straight under the guitars, you know. So which is good though, it works very well.
When it comes to new album, would you like, you know, to say that it's a kind of missing link between Cruelty of the Beast and the Midian?
Yeah, I suppose it is in a way, you know, kind of way. That's what I say when I said, you know, having like when Dan was suggesting it sounded a lot like Cruelty and like Midian, I suppose it was. You know, I know the newer stuff, for argument's sake, that we're writing at the moment, it's still got the same melody written into the music, and there's a lot more harmonies this time in like melodic sections, but I've actually stuck a lot more punk riffs back into the music again.
Okay.
You know like what we used to have on the first two albums, or like the real punk orientated riffs.
Yes, of course.
I've put a lot more into that this time because we never had them over the last few albums. They've never really been in there anymore, you know, so I've taken it right back, you know, and stuck some fucking real nasty groove back into it again, you know, real aggro riffs and stuff mixed with melody and harmonies. You know, there's a lot of single like scrubbed riffs as well, single note riffs, but this time we've gone instead of having the orchestration,
yes,
like we've always had, what we've done, we've used a lot of synths this time as well. So like the writing is kind of sounding, it's like gone back to what we used to do, and more further back, hence adding these punk riffs, but adding more of a modern edge to it with like synths and sound effects and this type of thing. It's different. It sounds really fucking good.
Could we say, for example, that the new actual material that you are now just composing and writing is going to be linked with the new album, actually latest record, you know, Darkly, or is it, you know, going to be a different chapter comparing to new one?
I think it'll be different personally, but it's still going to sound like us.
Yes.
Otherwise, everything we do is going to sound like Cradle, you know. But I think it's definitely going to stand out on its own, and no one's going to be able to go, oh, it sounds too much like the last one, because that won't happen. Not this time round.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, you are also doing in the same time one orchestration project of Cradle of Filth. Could you tell us something about it?
Yeah, well, that's on hold at the moment because like at the moment we're just concentrating on writing. We haven't found a particular right time to release it yet, you know, because every time we try to release it, something happens. Or something else different happens, and it's just like whenever we think it's the right time, it's not the right time. So, you know, so we've kind of put it on hold. It's like on the back burner, and we'll release it eventually when we like feel like it, when they feel it's like the right time. But no, it's tracks off the first. I think it's the first 4 albums or 3 albums. You know, select tracks, just all orchestral pieces. You know, there's no vocals or nothing, the guitars, it's just pure orchestration. Just orchestration. Yeah. It works really well, sounds good. I mean, as an outro, we use the track Some Are Dying Fast, the orchestral version. We use it as an outro for our live shows.
So definitely it's going to be very cool, actually, record. Obviously you were on Roadrunner Records, but now you are with Paul from Peaceville, you know, yeah. And I would like to say that Peaceville is really a great label when it comes to promotion, etc. And Paul is really a great person. But what could you tell us, you know, now about the cooperation with Roadrunner? Why did you end this contract with them, and why now on Peaceville?
Well, it's just come to the end of our contract, you know. That's all it was. We just come to the end of our contract, and they offered us another deal, and it wasn't really right, personally, you know. And it's almost like towards the end of the deal, Roadrunner seemed to have lost interest. Now more interested in bands like Nickelback, you know. So it's obviously, well, they make the most money, don't they, to be honest. But, you know, so we decided not to say, so we said, you know, no, I'm sorry. And like Peaceville came along, offered us a deal, which was actually better than Roadrunners. So I thought, you know, it'd be better with Peaceville, because they're like obviously more into the metal side of things. Excuse me. And yeah, and it's been great so far. It's been good. As I say, we're coming up for our second album on them. You know, I think we're down for a 3-album deal, and yeah, it's been fine. It's been good.
Well, you know, the first video clip for the new album was, you know, Forgive Me Father. I have seen this actually track is different from other tracks when it comes to new album. It's a more guitar-based actual track, while the other tracks are more keyboard-based. So why did you actually choose, you know, to have this track for the first video? Is it because it is more catchier, or?
It's different, you know. People don't really expect us to do that. You know, that's the reason why we've done it. We wanted to release something where people will go, what the fuck's this? You know, it catches people's attention. You know, it catches their eye and stuff, you know. So it worked. You know, some people hated it, some people loved it. You know, some people thought it was the best thing ever. I mean, some people even said, oh yeah, well, if I hadn't have heard the rest of the album, and I thought it was just like, Forgive Me Father, I wouldn't have fucking bought the album, but now I've bought the album, it sounds amazing. So it kind of worked. I mean, we do stuff just to like stir the pot up a bit, you know, just to get people's emotions flowing and see exactly what people really think of us, to be honest.
The last question is actually about your previous album, Thornography. Well, some say it's the most controversial, you know, album when it comes to Cradle of Filth. What do you say actually about it? Yeah, it is in a way. It's kind of like, it's more commercial. Yeah. It's more, I don't know, you know, every time we've done an album, we've always done it like, it's always written stuff what we felt like at the time. We've never had any idea of what it was going to come out like. Hence the reason why it was like Thornography. It's come out as it did. You know, it was what we wanted to do at the time, and it was what we had in us at the time, you know. Something different. Every band tends to go off in different directions. You know, that's what we did, and we got a lot of fans because of that album as well, you know. And the last album, since changing from Thornography, we've had a lot of fans going, oh, why can't you do like Thornography again? Well, we just write what we feel like at the time, you know, and it happens. Well, I would like to thank you for this interview. All the best.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.